I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I haven't made a video in like 4 months. Please, I'm sorry. Let me explain. Basketball season has started up, school started up, traveling, holidays, family, all that good old jazz. And I just didn't have time to make a video, and I'm sorry. But yeah, 2-hour basketball practice 6 days a week is a little difficult with school and everything to try and fit in a video, but I'm making a video now. It also meant that I didn't really do any cross stitch. But anyway, this is my January update for just life and various other crafts I've been doing. So, hopefully, I know this might not be what everyone was necessarily expecting or wanted, but it's what I can do. So, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging for another month or weeks or just more time to pass for me to not make a video, so here I am making a video. And I have to actually leave for a basketball game in about an hour, so this might not be able to be super long, but I'm trying. I am really sorry that I didn't post a video for so long. I just couldn't find the time. I hope that I don't have a length that long of no videos again, but if it does, I hope you guys can understand. And yeah, let's get into it. So, in terms of crafts and things like that, no cross stitch. I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just, the problem with cross stitch is it's not very portable, and a lot of progress I made on things I did were on airplane rides or long bus rides to away basketball games and things like that. And since I couldn't really do cross stitch on buses and things like that, I didn't really do it. And then also, whenever I was at home, I didn't really have time to get it all out and set it up. So I didn't do any cross stitch, but I got back into knitting and crochet. So I did a lot of that. And I actually have finishes to show, which I never have. I know, everyone's so surprised. So yeah, the first thing I finished is this scarf. I made the scarf. It's really long. I don't know if you can even see all of that. It's really long. And this is it folded in half. I started the scarf so long ago. Like 2-3 years ago I started it, and I had literally like this much left and I hadn't finished it. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna finish it. And it has cables on it, which I really like. I'm a big fan of cables. I feel like it's a relatively simple way to make things look complicated, which I'm always for easy ways to look fancy. And yeah, all my projects are done with like Joann's yarn. So I don't really know anything beyond the fact that this is like semi-acrylic, semi-wool. It's a mix. I like it a lot. Personally, I don't find it worth it for me to spend, $20 for like one skein of fancy yarn or nice yarn versus like, I don't even know how much. I think 2 skeins, which I didn't even go through all of for this, cost me like $10, something like that. And personally, there's nothing I would change about this. I mean, I'm super happy with it. it took me a while, but yeah, I don't think even having nicer yarn would necessarily like make it better. One thing I am a little bit concerned about is, it's this like creamy white color, and I am a little bit worried that's gonna get dirty easily, but it's a scarf, so I'm hoping that it's maybe of things to knit. Hopefully it's like it gets the least amount of dirt out of all those things. I don't know what that even means, but yeah. I added the fringe on the end. I like tassels and fringe and things like that. And I also just felt like, because I started this a long time ago, the edges were really like stretchy. Like, see how far that stretches? And I guess the whole thing does, but the edges just weren't very like clean. And I didn't really like them very much. Because I didn't do like any form of like, I don't know. I'm not like a super experienced knitter, or at least with scarves and stuff. So I don't know if you normally do like ribbing on the edge before you go into the pattern. You probably do, because that's what you do with like every knitted thing ever. But I didn't do that, and so the edges were kind of just wonky and squiggly and stretchy and not very nice. And so I thought, I have an idea. Let's cover up my mistakes with fringe. And so that's what I did. And this is like taller than me. Or as tall. And I'm 6 feet tall. So it's really long. So that's that. Oh, actually, before that, I did a little bit of crocheting. Now, I first learned how to knit when I was like in 1st grade. And then I learned how to crochet when I was like, how old was I? I was 12? Yes, I was 12. And so I have been doing it for a little while. And I decided, because my mom had a lot of these crocheted blankets and stuff that her great aunts or her grandparents or her grandma or her mom made by crocheting. And so I thought, I want to make a blanket. And so I decided to make these granny squares. They look like this. The color's not really coming through on the camera, but they're like bright pink. Like, they're really pink. They kind of look grayish pink on the camera. I'm not really sure why. This is like a different camera that I'm used to using. And this was a pattern that I found on Ravelry, and the scarf was also a pattern I found on Ravelry, and they were both free. And this one was called like butterfly something, I think, because these might look like butterflies a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. But I liked this. I liked it because, I don't know, this just a simple granny squares, where it's just kind of like more like this inside portion right here, like this. I don't know, I can't really get behind them. They kind of just, like after you make one, I'm like, oh, that was fun. Let's make 80 more. No, I don't like them very much because they don't hold my interest. But these, since they're just complicated enough that like I have to think, but then they're not so complicated that I can't like do them while watching TV or do them on a bus ride or things like that. Now I've made about like 4 or 5. One thing I have noticed that is a problem is my sizes among the squares are not consistent. Let's see if I can show this very well. Well, it's not cooperating, but compare like this one to like, I don't know. You can't really see because they're not lying flat, but this one is definitely tighter than this one, and so they're different sizes. But I'm hoping that when I sew it, I'll just be able to stretch them or squish them together so that they'll all fit. I definitely know that I'm crocheting them way tighter than the pattern said to, because these are supposed to be a foot by a foot. This is not a foot. This is like, I don't even know. It's like 9 inches or something, so that's like way smaller. But a common trend you will find with me is I am too impatient to do the gauge. So I just kind of go with it and then figure it out as I go. So that's probably what happened with these. So with granny squares, I don't know if you necessarily need to do a gauge, because you kind of, it's not like it needs to fit. You just make it to the size you want. So, but like for that scarf, I didn't do a gauge, and it turned out fine. And this was with like the Super Saver yarn, or was it? It wasn't the Super Saver, or was it? No, it was the oh my gosh, what was it? It was like on that level of like, it is on like that level of like cheap yarn, which I know, choose the cheapest yarn for blankets, great idea. But it was on the level of like cheapness as Super Saver, but I think like one step above that. So not quite the cheapest, but getting there. So that's these little granny squares. Now, for Christmas, I got, let's see, this is the front. I got, sorry about like all the banging and stuff downstairs and like the noise. It's like, it's early, it's like morning, so people are like moving around. But I got this book, which I found. I had originally found one of the patterns on Ravelry that someone had illegally put up, and I decided after looking at it and then seeing different patterns that were in there that this had a lot of kind of things I would like to make. I'm a big fan of like Fair Isle and like Norwegian looking knitted things. I just like them. And so I got this for Christmas. And it's like hats and gloves and things like that. There is a sweaters one, but I am not to that level yet. So we're going to have to wait on that one. But with that book, I managed, and this is like my pride and glory hat thing, piece that I've made. It's so amazing. I'm super proud of it. I'm very happy with it. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. But let's see if I can get it to lie down so you can get a good look at what the pattern is. So that's what the pattern on the hat is. Here. It's like a snowflake with these squiggles and little like X's and things. And so this was made out of wool yarn. I forget. It was again just like Joann's yarn. And I put the pom-pom on it, which I love pom-poms. They're really, I don't think, yeah. I like put pom-poms on every hat I make, because I just think they make it so much better. Even though this pom-pom is a little bit on the big side, but that's okay. And again, did not do a gauge for this. I know I'm a horrible person, but I was too lazy, so I didn't do it. And it turned out fine. It fits pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, I might just wear this for the rest of the video, because I love it so much. No, that's not a good idea. Now my hair is probably all pulled out of my braids, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's because I knitted it tightly. Or, the one problem I have with this book is okay. So this book is discontinued, so they don't print it anymore. And it was originally written in like 1950 or something. I don't remember exactly when. But the point is, it's an old book. And so there's no like sizing information in there, or like chart to tell you like, if you have this size head, increase this many times or decrease this many times. It's just kind of like, just do it and cross your fingers that it'll fit at the end. So I was a little bit concerned because technically in the book this was called a man's hat, which, can you get more vague than that? And also, sorry about that. My sister came up and had to tell me something that I had to go do. And now it's done. And so back to the update on my knitting. So where was I? I was talking about my hat. Did I finish talking about my hat? Oh. The worst part of this hat, though, was all this. Look at all that. All this. 6 inches of ribbing. I just can't do ribbing. It's like, it's just so boring to me. Like, you're just doing knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. For rows and rows and rows and rows and rows. For like forever. And this, like, it took me like, once I got through the ribbing, my hat went like that. But the ribbing took me like 2 weeks to do. Because I just couldn't sit down and just do it. Because it just felt like I was doing nothing. Excuse me. Oh my. But yeah. And then there were many times, this was the first color work project that I ever did. Successfully. Keyword, successfully. And still, one could argue whether it was successful. Because many times I had to just like, take out all the stitches, go back, and fix where I got off by one. Or, so many different errors happened that would make me cry a little bit inside. But it's finished, I can wear it now, and it makes me super happy, and I'm definitely going to make more hats. Now, the next thing, and my last thing, goes along with this hat. They're actually mittens that are supposed to match the hat. And these are still in a work in progress. Now, they're on double-pointed needles. And again, all the ribbing, just why. And there's a front and a back. So this is the, it's still attached to the yarn. So this is the front of it. All of my projects have been worsted. I've tried to do fingering, at least with mittens, and I just didn't have the patience. I like to see progress being made, and I feel like with fingering yarn, I'll get to it eventually, but it just goes so slow, and the stitches are so tiny, and I don't have the patience for it. I realize I'm just kind of an impatient person, and so that's why many things I start do not get finished. And then, so that's the front, and then this is the back, or I guess the palm. And here, this big old mess, right there, was where the thumb was, and then I took it all out because I accidentally, way back at the beginning, had added in like an extra row and an extra stitch somehow. And so I took it all out, and I'm gonna have to go in and just like re-knit that little bit of the thumb. Which is why I haven't worked on this in like a few days, because I just don't want to do that. Because I was just so excited with these mittens, they were going so well, and I was like, man, I'm doing the thumb and everything, and nothing's gone wrong. This is great. I spoke too soon. But yeah. these are it's the same, I don't know if you can tell, but like this is the same pattern as like the hat. You can see the similarity, or this similarity. I don't even know how to talk anymore. But I really like them. Like, I'm excited to have them and to make them. I just think I just need to get past that thumb. And then once I get past that, I'll be able to finish it. And this is the right-handed mitten. So I have to finish this and then I have to make the left-handed one. But I'm excited to do it because this year has been like really cold where I live. Like, strangely cold. Like, we got a lot of snow, which is very rare. And so, these would be good to have. But, so yeah, that's all I have to show. Let's see what time. Oh. So yeah, that's all I have to show. Again, I am, like, I know I kind of joked about it at the beginning, but I am sorry that I didn't post so many videos. And if you came back after all that time and you watched this video, I really appreciate it. I know it was probably frustrating, but thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!